What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Tuesday edition of Morning Scone, presented by Brock. Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. LSU has its new passing game coordinator. It is Scott Linehan. What y'all think about it? Let's see, I'm going to hit the share button. Hopefully y'all do the same. All right. So you can't see anybody's names yet. All right. Let this thing build here for a minute. So LSU's got a new passing game coordinator, Scott Linehan. A lot of NFL experience. Surprising. Not what I expected in this hire. Expected someone from the NFL with NFL experience. Did not expect a 56-year-old Scott Linehan who was out of the game this past year. Doesn't really have a direct tie to Ogeron or to LSU. Apparently came highly recommended from Stephen Jones, who, of course, was with the Cowboys, son of Jerry Jones, who knew Ed from his time at Arkansas. And, of course, Linehan had been with the Cowboys since 2014. Been a minute. So, anyway, let's say some good mornings. Hey, Kelly Gross, Colby Hester, good morning. Charles Waltman, Matt Boudreau, C-Mac, what's up? Thomas Chapman, Craig Schilling, Shelby Kelly, Brandon Ray, what's up? Kevin Hardiman, Andrew Bear, Kip Gayran, good morning, y'all. Good morning. So Scott Linehan is the passing game coordinator. News broke yesterday while we were on air. So thanks to Bruce Feldman for that. And I'll just tell you my initial reaction, which is, we'll keep digging a little deeper into Linehan, but, my initial reaction was surprising because I assumed they would try to replicate the success they had with Joe Brady. I figured you had this young coordinator, spread offense-minded guy, seemed the perfect complement to Steve Ensminger. Why not try to find that blend again? And they decided to go a different route. So, little surprise. That said, Linehan has tons of college experience. University of Washington, UNLV, Louisville, before jumping into he was at Louisville with he was at Louisville with Bobby Petrino before Petrino left for the Falcons. That had been the first go round at Louisville for Petrino. And then Linehan jumped into the NFL and was OC with the Vikings, and then was the head coach at the Rams for 2 years. Got fired when he started 0-4 in year 3. Then the next year they drafted Sam Bradford. Then he went to the Lions and was with the Lions for a while. Was the OC of the Lions whenever they played New Orleans in that divisional round game in 2011 in the Dome. And then after the Lions went to the Cowboys. So I was on Jim Schwartz's staff with the Lions, so when Schwartz got fired, Linehan got fired with him. He went to the Cowboys and been there since. So until he got fired in 2018. You hear him, he's getting fired a lot. But that sort of can be the tumultuous nature of the NFL, where coaches just get fired a lot. So very seldom does anybody just retire in the job they're in. Usually you get fired and then you go find a new job. That's sort of the transient nature of the NFL. So I don't know that I hold that tremendously against Linehan. Just surprised. Just not exactly what I thought they were going to do. John Boudreau, Cole Pierce, Stephen Miller, Chuck Sanchez. What's up, Chuck? Get it? Up, Chuck. Tim Witten. So, Linehan, huh? Yeah, but here's the other thing I'll tell you. And someone said this via Twitter during AFR as we were wrapping up yesterday. And it was a good point. Essentially, the gist is, Ensminger sat next to Brady for 15 games, and he called 80% of the offense anyway. we making too big a deal of this hire? Maybe so, and maybe so. I mean, Steve called 80% of the offense last year. And yes, Joe Brady brought some new ideas. How many of those were original ideas? How much of that was stuff the Saints ran that he got from being around Sean and Drew for 2 years? Don't know. But I'm just interested to see how a guy like Linehan, who's 56, who's a veteran, who's been an OC and a head coach in the NFL, if he's willing to sort of acquiesce to Steve in this offense. That's going to be the interesting thing to me. Because Brady and Ensminger worked so well together last year. So how will Ensminger and Linehan work together? Ricky Charles Constant, good morning. Cole Pierce, good morning. Game day boot up, indeed. So that's the other thing I talk about. Linehan news is kind of going to steal the day, but LSU against Missouri today. Missouri, not a good team. They did beat Arkansas this weekend. Missouri's yet to win on the road in conference play. But this is a really, God, this is just like, I don't want to overstate it, but this is the biggest game of the season to this point for LSU. Because if you don't get, hello? Hey, babe. Well, I'm doing Morning Scone. That's okay. Do you want to tell everybody hi? Tell everybody hi.
Hi, I don't know where I am. Like, what do you mean?
I'm holding the phone up to my.
Oh. Hi, everybody.
Okay, well, I'll call you later. Oh, it's good. It's great. Okay. Bye. It's Erica. She should know better. Charlie Cavell, good morning. Andrew Bear, was he the pick over Curtis Johnson? Just figured we want the guy with NOLA ties. I don't think Curtis wanted to come back to college football. I think that was a big sticking point. And some guys prefer the NFL. Like, you don't have to recruit, and you get a true offseason in the NFL. In college football, you don't get an offseason. I mean, think about how this just went for LSU. You play in the middle January. While you are in the midst of that run, you have the early signing period. In conjunction with winning the SEC championship, Joe Burrow winning the Heisman, you have the early signing period, and you're preparing for a college football playoff semifinal game. You win that, then you've got 13 days to get ready for, or 14, whatever, 15 days, whatever, 13 days to get ready for the national championship game. As soon as the national championship game ends, you are like grinding toward finishing signing day. Signing day ends, and now the players are working out, staff's recruiting for 2021 and getting ready for spring football. I mean, and then it's spring football, and then it's recruiting. I mean, it's just, you don't really have an off season in college. The cycle never ends. In the NFL, you get a true off season. So some guys just prefer that. It's more transient. There's not as much stability in the NFL, but some coaches just prefer it. So I think that was part of it with Curtis. But Ed took his time. It took a month and vetted a lot of candidates. I know they had a lot of interest. So, Brian Annie Penton, good morning from Lancaster, New York, headed to Tennessee. Y'all be safe on the road. The rest of the comments scroll there, Brian. So sorry I missed the rest of it there, but thank you as always for watching, man. Y'all be safe on the road. James Tyrone, good morning. See, Brian, how is Drew doing? He's doing well, thank you. So Drew's checkup went really good yesterday. So we're at cardiology yesterday, and cardiologist actually used the word tickled. So last time we were there, they went to some real big boy doses of his medicines to try to just keep everything status quo. So that was good. So everything looked good yesterday. However, Drew is still like 38 pounds. So weight gain has been a problem. He's growing this way. He's in like the 73rd percentile for his age and height. So he's a tall kid. but he's 38 pounds. So he's going the other way in that respect. Brandon Scott, good morning. Charlie Cavell, Linehan has a reputation for pushing the ball down the field. James Tyrone, a little apprehensive about the new hire, but trusting Coach O. I think that's a big part of it too, James, is, Ogeron has kind of earned the benefit of the doubt here. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Where he's made good hires, and do you trust him? So Cole Pierce, sick and tired of hearing everyone say this is a Cam Cameron, Les Miles hire. O has shown a great track record of good hires decisions, minus Canada. I believe he's earned the fan base trust. I do agree with that, Cole, that Ed's earned the benefit of the doubt. I do also understand the Miles Cameron hire in that there's a lot of similarities with Cameron and Linehan. Long time, had spent time in college, long-time NFL coach, had been a head coach, failed in that respect, been fired as an OC, maybe coming back to college, trying to rehab his image to get back into the NFL. So I do understand the similarities. I'm not saying that Cam and Linehan are the same philosophically, but I do understand the similarities. The big difference is you've still got Steve Ensminger in place. And Les and Cam, as much as people say that, that was with Les intervening, Cam was in lockstep with what Les wanted to do. And those two would basically kick everybody out on Thursdays and put the game plan together. They were not really accepting and open of other people's ideas in the way of game planning. This feels very different than that. So this feels supplemental instead of all in. What do you think of Major League Baseball Commissioner's proposal to change the playoffs? I'm okay with adding more teams. I hate a one-game play-in. I think letting teams choose their opponent is stupid. Eric Hart, Ray Wright, Pat Huseman, good morning. Chuck Bazette. Because if you're choosing your opponent, why are we playing 162 games to determine order of finish? There's a right way to do this. Shelby needs some help, Matt. How do I manage opening day and Valentine's Day with 8-month pregnant hormonal wife? So this is easy, Shelby. When she gets home from work or from wherever, so here's what you do. You start the day by having her like a massage or a mani-pedi set up, right? Paid for. She just goes and gets it done. When she comes home, you have flowers there. And then when you get home, you bring dinner and you relax on the couch and you watch the game. Got it. The option of going to the game is not there. You can't do that. Unless if she just wants you out of the house, which I don't think she will. But I think that's a good compromise. And then after the game, you watch a movie together, her choice. Got it. Brian Arsenault, Terry Jameson, or you know what? Say, hey, babe, it's Valentine's for me too. Go to the game. You can try that. It probably won't work, but you can try it. Terry Jameson, good morning. Chris, is it true Tommy Robinson is leaving and Falk is promoted to running back coach? I know Tommy Robinson has wanted to get back to the NFL. And so that opportunity, should it arise, would certainly be a possibility. And if that happened, they could very well add Falk to the staff. Now, I'll tell you this much about Kevin Falk. Kevin, as best as I know, is still living in the Karen Crow area, and he drives to campus. And he also has a son who's a high school athlete. And if you're a full-time staff member, you are on the road recruiting, you are in it. So Kevin's responsibilities his time responsibilities are less now in his role. And it may not be until his son goes to college that he's willing to be a full-time staff member. So that may not be imminent, put it to you that way. Justin Reyes, yes, Steve called most of the plays, but was he calling plays Brady put in? Does Linehan know a system similar to what Brady brought in? You got to keep in mind, Justin, that it wasn't all just a system that Brady brought in. there were certainly concepts that he brought in. It's so hard to talk about this without sounding like you're poo-pooing Joe Brady, because I believe Joe Brady's role was impactful. I just believe that it wasn't like he was responsible for 80% of the offense. I think he brought tweaks where you had so much of the structure there. Like he brought tweaks that just was the magic unlock, is the way that I've compared it. I don't think, I think LSU is going to be fine. I think the bigger loss is Burrow, not Brady. How many times did LSU have a play call in where Burrow eludes a rush and he's on the move and throws an accurate strike moving to his right and gets a 15-yard completion? Well, that's not Joe Brady's brilliance. That's Joe Burrow being a freak show. You know what I mean? Anyway. Hey, Dad, good morning. John Gravois, good morning. Blake McGraw, Brad Crowder, Glenda Blanchard, Keith Rosenbach, Jason Truitt, Patrick Dorsey, Morning Pales. So Charlie, ASCII Rock, to please not interrupt your poignant thoughts. Thank you. That's what I'm talking about. How dare she interrupt Morning Scone? Courtney Storer, agree with you about tonight's game. It's a big one. It's a massive game tonight. E-Rock is Row. I'm in the middle of my show. That is exactly what Row did too. And they both were like, this will take a minute. But this is a big basketball game tonight. Win this one, you maintain a tie for first place. Lose this one, that's 2 bad losses, and it's a bad home loss, and that makes the Kentucky almost a must-win game. Ben Giat, good morning. Roberts, good morning. First, Kevin Bryan, good morning. Hold the phone back up. Let us hear Erica. You know, crazy. Hey, Kaylee Peterson, good morning. Everett Email, good morning. Dylan, good morning. Good morning. Thank you, Steve. Mark Allen, Kettner, Brandon DeVille, huge game for the Pels tonight against Portland. Might be overstating it a tad to say that's a huge game. I guess context matters, and for a team that's trying to push into the playoff mix, we could certainly make that case. Nothing really feels huge for the Pelicans right now, but again, that's a subjective term and open to interpretation. But I just want to see them keep playing better and winning basketball games and sort of figuring out their roles and building toward the future. The thing that's interesting too about the Pels, which as the season's gotten rolled, we've not talked about this a bunch. This offseason is going to be massively interesting. Like, the Pelicans will probably be the most interesting team this offseason because they have basically the entire Lakers draft for the next 3 years. Remember that? Like, whenever they traded AD, think about all the assets they got. They got players and a bajillion. They got everybody's picks, all of them. Like, they have assets galore to play with this offseason to try to build a roster around Zion and Lonzo and Ingram if he's still here, whoever manages to hang around. It's going to be a really fun offseason because the Pels are going to be in such a power position to make whatever moves they want because they own their picks and the Lakers' picks for like the next 3 years. So that's more important, I think. Let's see, Dylan, all sending prayers y'all's way. Thank you, Dylan. Appreciate that, man. Tweaking some of Drew's food, though, to try to get him to gain a little weight. He, like I mentioned, he's still sitting at 38 pounds, so he's on a feeding tube, so all of his calories come from from the formula that he gets, and so we're going from like Pediasure to Pediasure 1.5, so it's about a 1/3 increase in the calories that he gets daily. So that's a slow process to integrate that into his diet. So Drew's stomach is you can't just like make that change one day. So it's a gradual thing that we'll do about a 5-6 week period. So we're about almost halfway done with that transition. So hopefully as we make that, he'll start putting on some weight. Charlie, get that voice of America's dad's gumbo. I wish, man. No, but that's the thing. He doesn't. I think you're joking, but he doesn't eat orally, so everything's through his feeding tube. So, got to find a way to push calories that way. We can't just be like, here, eat fast food. Here, have chocolate chip pancakes to just get calories. Andrew, did you see the article about the retired referee saying Pelini is the worst coach he's been around based on his intensity? I did, and I don't care. I just don't care. I'm sorry, Mr. Referee, that the coach screamed at you and hurt your feelings. I just don't care. I'm not saying that to you, just to the ref. I think that's a non-starter. I don't care. There's lots of coaches that are colossal a-holes on the sideline. Will Wade is a colossal a-hole on the bench. I don't care. Nick Saban is a jerk to everybody, but he wins, so it doesn't matter. Just be a good defense coach. Lori Prophet, good morning. Stephen Miller, 162 is far too many, just like 82 in the NBA is far too many. Yet we always end up with tight races. I wouldn't be opposed, by the way, Stephen, to shorten the regular season, but I want to see how the proposal looks. The thing that I hate the most is the play-in game, the wild card game. It's so stupid. I mean, if you play 162, you're basically, and one team finishes with a better record. Now, if you have a tie and you need a one-game tiebreaker, okay, but if you have the two teams that'll last two in, if one team had a better record over 162, why is this a one-game series to determine who gets to play on? It's stupid. We played 162 to determine that. Anyway, hate the play-in game. Hate the wild card game. It's stupid. Julio Mendez. What's up, Julio? Good to see you there, man. Steven, my wife said she would rather do Valentine's Day on Thursday. Gotta love women that love LSU baseball. How about that? That is awesome, man. Enjoy opening day. It's going to be fun. AJ Holland. Is Ensminger still getting paid peanuts compared to other coordinators? Excuse me. He'll get a raise. The Board of Supervisors is going to meet in, I think their meeting is the beginning of March. March 3rd or 4th. Maybe it's Friday the 6th. Anyway, it's beginning of March, and that's when all those contracts will be approved, and you'll see this report about all the contracts. Ed Ogeron's deal, the terms of his new deal, the terms of Bo Pelini's contract. You'll see assistants that got their raises. So Steve's going to get a raise too. He was making in the 8s this past year. I think it'll bump him up to about $1 million thereabouts. So I would fully expect that. Let's see. Kevin Gleason, my wife's birthday is the 14th as well. Wow, a Valentine's Day birthday. So what do you do? Like, do you just go all birthday? Do you go all Valentine's? It feels like she probably kind of gets a little gypped, right? Think about that, like with kids who have like Christmas birthdays. You kind of get gypped. You don't get your birthday and Christmas. It's like there's probably some meshing of the two as far as the gift giving, which is tough. Cole Pierce, T-Rob, reportedly interviewed for running back coach at South Carolina today. I'd be a little surprised if he left LSU for another college job. But here's what I would tell you also. Why? Let me ask you this question, okay? Think about this legitimately. Why would a coach leave a school that just won a national title, where he's also the recruiting coordinator, making excess of $600,000 a year? I think he's the highest paid position coach on staff. So highest paid position coach on staff, also recruiting coordinator title, program that just won a national title. Why would you leave that for South Carolina? Anybody? Why would you leave that for South Carolina? Anybody? Bueller? No takers? Anyway. Food for thought. Sean White, grass is never greener. Nope, you're wrong, Sean. Do you remember when 2008 LSU had defensive coordinators, Bradley Dale Pivito and Doug Mallory? That season didn't go too well. And those guys left LSU. Pivito became the head coach of Northwestern State, and Mallory went to like New Mexico or something. They left LSU, right? Just say it. I think you know what I'm getting at there. You should. If you don't, I don't know how to say it, except to just say it, which I'm not going to do. Jeremy Hoskins, good morning. Joel Cunningham, Matt, should have gotten a 17 certified Touareg, by far the best SUV Volkswagen makes. Joel, I don't think they're making the Touareg anymore. Or if they do, South Point's not selling them. They've crushed it with the Atlas, though, man. Excuse me. Jimmy Verdreen, what's up, man? Kenneth Clark, Tyler Connor. Is Baylor a major threat now? No. In basketball? In basketball, yes. In football, no. Charlie, Matt, explain how Brennan could throw for 4,000 yards and 40 touchdowns and still not be close to Burrow. Yeah. Well, my point is with that was like if people are saying can they replicate this past year, no, because even if Brennan threw for 3,000 yards and 30 touchdowns, he would have set previously LSU records in those categories, and still been like 2,000 yards and 30 touchdowns off Joe Burrow's pace. Expectations are going to be different. Man, feed's going out again? Gosh, dog it. Sorry, y'all. Stephanie, good morning, Matt. Hope the day is good. It is, Stephanie. So I'm doing the morning meltdown 100. Today was day 21. They say it takes 21 days to start a habit. So Anthony Google using the feed. Using the feed. All right, let's look like some of y'all are still good. Jeff McKithen, good morning. Ashcraft Joel. Ben Giat. Will Drew be able to get off the feeding tube at some point? That's the hope, Ben. When? We'll see. It's whenever he's able to sustain himself with enough calories by eating orally, and he's just not close to that. All he does is a few of those little pureed pouches, and then they work on him with some different textures, like he'll take a bite of a green bean or a bite of a carrot and stuff like that. So, but far away from that, man. But that's okay. He'll get there in time, in his time. Sean White, good morning. Thanks for your everyday. My pleasure, Sean. Thanks for being here, man. Appreciate you for being here. Is there a way to contact you offline? Sean, yeah, man, just email me, Matt at 1045espn.com, or message me on Facebook. I check all my messages. I try to as best I can. Andrew wasn't saying anything bad about the article. It made me excited. No, I know, Andrew, about the Pelini thing. I knew what you were saying. I got, it wasn't, my point wasn't at you. It was to the referee who had his feelings hurt about Bo Pelini yelling at him. I just don't care about. Like, I just think that's a non-starter in that respect. Let's see. Scott Wilson, good morning. Andrew, my wife refuses to recognize Valentine's as a real holiday. Love her for that. Wow. Meanwhile, my wife decorates our house for Valentine's Day. Sean White, any Brett Laxton sightings? So, see Brett when I go over to Marucci. Works over there. It's awesome. John Corbello, good morning. Andrew Bear, did you hear about the football championship we could possibly claim from 19-something? What's that about? LSU in 1908 was undefeated and won a championship and was awarded a championship by one of the services that was actually at the time recognized by the NCAA, but LSU did not claim it because of something to do with one or some of their players. This is 1908. I've read the story, but do not. Hi, you want to come say hi? Oh, here he comes, the star of the show. Hey, bud. Okay. You want to say hi to Dad's show? Huh? You want to say hi, Dad's show? Say hi, Dad's show. I love you. Hey, what are you going to do today? What are you going to do today? Where are you going to go? To Abilities? Who are you going to see today at Abilities? Aubrey. Bibi. Miss Sarah. Who else? Miss Mallory. Who else? Miss Margaret. Yep. After Abilities? You're going to go to Fresh Market? Who are you going to see there? Barbara. What does Barbara say to you when you see her?
Hey, my Drew.
Hey, my Drew. And who else are you going to see at Fresh Market? Who else are you going to see there? Byron. And who else? Mr. who?
John.
Mr. John. Yep. Those are all your friends, huh? Oh, then you're going to ride in Papa's car? Oh, wow. That sounds like such a fun day. Yep. And then, hey, what are you going to do after you ride in Papa's car? Mommy's going to come home?
Daddy comes.
And then Daddy comes home. Yep. And what are we going to do when Daddy comes home? We're going to do what? Daddy's going to eat his dinner and then what? Go where? Go to?
Alexander.
Go to Alexander's. Okay. Okay, we will go to Alexander's. Okay. All right. See you later, Drew. You go. Go. Brandon Goche. Is Taysom Hill really the future in New Orleans? I don't believe so. I think they'll draft a quarterback this year. But I do think Teddy will be gone. I think Drew and Taysom will both be back next year, and they'll draft a quarterback. Josh Long, tell Gordy to give Scone a raise. Amen to that, Josh. Brady Beacom, Johnny Clark, Jamie Leday, good morning. Jordan Birch's mom told it. That's pretty good, Dylan. Donnie Gotro. Let's see. Diddly 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 dit. Cole, didn't say I understood it. Agree. Oh, about Robinson? Ronnie Duca, Cassie Russo, good morning. Sean White, family, personal reason. Cole Pierce, just like Craig when he was OC and left for Maryland OC. No, that wasn't. Who was that? was that? No, it was the Wizard. Who was that guy? What's Croton? Oh God, my mind went blank. Croton. Yes, exactly. When Gary Les would always encourage his assistants, instead of firing them, he would encourage them to go get a job, to stay ahead of their resume, because it always just looks better instead of being fired to get a job. So, not uncommon, yes. Joel, this is why you need the 17. Stop selling America because Americans want third row. God, that's issue. I like a lot, Joel. I did. Stay going to Hawaiian gym. Beach spot here. There you go, Stephanie. Good luck. Lowell Corner from Wisconsin. PeteArdino, good. How was Drew's point? Was good, Jeff. Mentioned a little bit ago. Cardiology used the word tickled, so that was very reassuring. We were happy. Let's see. You playing the guitar? Here you go. Shout out to Brock. Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. 5 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area, including their after-hours clinic, and they can handle all of the subspecialties. So give Brock a like. They're tagged in this post. And, of course, if you need an orthopedist, you need our friends over at Brock. Championship crap could be trash. Because is LSU really going to go back and claim 1908? I hadn't heard that. That got me interested. I can't. Why doesn't LSU claim 1908 championship? Let's see. I know it was an administrative decision too. And they were 10-0, outscored their opponents 442-11. Doc Fenton on the team. The Tigers were retro-picked as co-national champion by the National Championship Foundation. The NCAA recognizes LSU as a champion along with Penn. LSU does not recognize the season as a championship season. That's it. There were accusations of professionalism by Grantland Rice and rival school Tulane. The SIAA conducted an investigation that cleared LSU of wrongdoing, but since many publications voted for the SIAA champion prior to the conclusion of the investigation, they did not recognize LSU's title. There you go. So basically, Tulane and Grantland Rice accused LSU of professionalism. They were wrong, but people had already voted for the title, and so they one organization retroactively named LSU the title, the champion, but not the SIAA. Jerks. Brock Pendarvis, good morning. Always enjoy your show. Love seeing and hearing about you. Thank you, Brock. Appreciate that. Sean White, I love Fresh Market. Sean, when you go, ask for Barbara and tell her that you know Drew. Or you might see him in there. Let's see. It's a trap. Y'all crazy. It's talking about the Valentine's Day thing. It's a trap. Cole, can't say enough good stuff about abilities. They really help with my stepson. His things he has to work through. Yeah, abilities is great, man. Drew's there off. Drew's there every day. Oh, boys, he's there every day. Mark, good morning. Pelicans tonight against Lillard. Yep. Matt, if you get a rose this year, she'll want something next year also. True. Jason Aguilar, good morning. Chad Dupuy. Hey, Uncle Mike, good morning. I don't know if some of y'all are having technical difficulties. Not everybody is. Ryan O'Neill, Sean Kelly, Garrett, Sheck Snyder, good morning, good morning, good morning. Kevin Dees, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. All right, y'all. Charlie, why not? Bama claims 16 titles. I know. They're ridiculous with it. They claimed one title in a year where they were 7-5. It finished ranked 24th, but someone awarded them a title, so they claim it. Seriously. All right, we're done. So y'all have an awesome day. I'm going to go ahead and upload this file to YouTube. So for the parts that we're cutting out, for some people, you'll be able to get them crystal clear on YouTube. So sorry about why that's happening with some of y'all, but it's not happening with everybody. So anyway, y'all have an awesome day. Shout out to Brock, Locked on LSU coming up later, and we will see you then. Deuces.